Hey everybody, this is Paul, 125 Roller Coaster Challenge here at Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. And we're going to do a full park walkthrough. So right over here is the entrance. As you usually come in, you're going to see the Main Street Market Gift and Apparels, which actually has a lot of roller coaster gear if you're interested. If you look over to your left here, you actually have Six Flags Universe, where you get all your Six Flags gear that you want. So basically both of these stores kind of have the same thing, but I noticed that most of the sale stuff is here in the center. So this is the main entrance here, and if you're familiar with Great Adventure, unlike a lot of other parks, this one is very linear. So we're gonna head out to the right when we get here, and then wrap around the back of the park, and then head out by Medusa, which used to be Bizarro. And then after that, we're going to head to the Superman Green Lantern section here. So right there is the Six Flags Universe. And over here on this side here, you actually have Snake and Cake. And yet again, as soon as you come in, you're hit right with the Main Street Market. All right, so as you head on down here, you got all the food seems to be over to the right-hand side. You got sweet treats, and you've got the last drop, which is where you can get roller coaster gear. And then over to the other side here, you actually have the M&M store and a juggler. How you doing? There we go. And right here, like a lot of Six Flags parks, you actually have a statue right here. So like I said, what we're going to do is right here's the main fountain. They actually have a Looney Tune, Porky Pig, right out here. But we're gonna head over to the right to start with. And right over here to the right here, you actually have the last drop, which is for, you know, pretty much roller coasters. You have head of the line where you have hats. And then right over here, you have the My Six Flags photos. Right in front of a Johnny Rocket. So we're here in early June on a Tuesday, but there's a lot of kids here, but there's a lot of different stuff here. This is one of the bigger Six Flags parks. So right by the Six Flags photos, you actually have adventure gifts, which it looks like you can get your Squishmallows. So if you're a big fan of those. There's your Johnny Rockets, which is right on the main walkthrough. And then you actually have over there candy apples and caramel and candy and all that. And then of course right there you get your big first ride there, which is kind of their Starflyer Wave Swinger. And over here you got, on your right hand side, you actually have a path right there, right by the hydration station and the basketball that takes you right to the Justice League section, which we'll see in a few minutes. Of course, you have a Phillips station, and then you have a giant Ferris wheel right in front of you here, which is always neat. Now, right by the candy apples is your pass holder services, right by the Wave Swinger, Sky Screamer they call it, and that's where you get your flash passes and all that fun stuff. And here's something new I've never seen before, party poopers. If you want your pieces of poop things, that's where you want to go there. So it looks like this is right here by a Ferris wheel. Looks like there's a lot of construction here, which is nice. So you got a patio here for Mama Flora's, because that's the main pizza place here. And like I said, if you're looking for reference, right there is a Ferris wheel. And right there is Mama Flora's. I have yet to actually try the pizza, but I hear it's actually pretty fantastic. So right underneath the Ferris wheel, you actually have henna, tattoos, and that kind of stuff here. And then over to the right here, you actually have the arcade. Now, we're not huge arcade people here, but they have arcade, but they also have a kaleidoscope mirror maze. So there's the prices if you're looking. Regular tickets and mass people get $5. Now, quite a bummer, but it looks like the Capes is actually closed so far today. But the park just opened up here. We actually got here a rope drop, which is very rare for us. And of course you got Dippin' Dots, because every 12 feet you gotta have a Dippin' Dots. Now over here, this is kind of more of a traditional section. So you actually have a whack-a-mole there. But right here you actually have, right by the Ferris wheel, you actually have the bumper cars right there. And then of course here is Granny's Chicken. So this is one of the better food places here. They take the meal plan, but here they actually have rotisserie chicken, mashed potatoes, fries, biscuits, pretty much more like a typical meal type thing, as opposed to a snack bar restaurant. And then nestled over on this side, because this is a traditional side of the park, you actually have Deja Vu, which is of course a scrambler. And here's more arcade. So they got a lot of the arcade over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut right in by Grandma's, and we're going to go right to Movie Town, which is pretty much your DC Universe section. Another basketball. We've already encountered 2 basketball things, and we just got here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the Jersey Devils section, and then we're going to go check out the Justice League and then cut our way across. So there's the bigger arcade, it's Studio 28 Arcade. It looks like it got an old train from Rolling Thunder right here. And right there in the foreground is actually Batman, the ride, which is a standard B&M inverted coaster. Now over on this side here, you actually got Fat Burgers, which is new. They always have Primo's Pizza, but Fat Burger is kind of a new thing that they actually added here. That is actually a new stand right across from Rita's. Now, if you're looking, right in front of us is Junior Thrill Seekers, which is a renamed section. They kind of renamed the whole section for the kids after they added Jersey Devil to the mix. So this is how you get the Jersey Devil. And we're going to check out the Junior Thrill Seekers at a later time. Now, of course, coming out this way there, right there, that is Batman the Ride, which looks like it got a new paint job, which is nice because it was looking pretty beat. But the one that really needed a paint job is actually the awesome Nitro, which is one of our favorite coasters. And the entrance is right here. As you can tell, it definitely needs a paint job. Now right in front of us there, that is Jersey Devil, which is the brand new Raptor track, RMC. There's some of the thrill sections for kids. And here you actually got a Dippin' Dots, but you got a funnel cake, and then the Pine Barrels Beer Garden, because when you're entering this area, they're kind of theming it after the Pine Barrens that are very popular. Welcome to the Pine Barrens right there, home of the Jersey Devil. But if you head out this way, right here, you can actually see Nitro going up the hill. One of the best B&M hypers. And then when they opened up this section, they actually themed the Jersey Devil barbecue. So this might be a place I go to eat because I do like good barbecue. And over here you used to have the Congo River Rapids, which are still here. And it looks like they're actually open today. But let's go check out the Pine Barrens. There is Jersey Devil going over the first drop. Now this came in 2020. And this year they're actually over at Magic Mountain. They're going to have actually pretty much a twin of this, themed after Wonder Woman. If you've never done these are actually a single rail with a great stall right there. So it's a single rail. Now what I like, and I'm going to show you guys real quick here, is Six Flags actually used to have El Diablo, which was a standard Larson loop. Well, they shipped that down to Texas, but they actually kept the mascot, and the mascot is now placed right here. So I like the fact that they reused everything there. All right, so we're gonna walk by here. So this is at the far end, pretty much right up against the pond. And we're gonna walk ourselves back and we're gonna go explore the rest of Movie Town, which has a lot of Justice League rides and such. And right in front of us again is Batman the Ride. So you got three pretty good roller coasters right in a row right here. Now this is my first time at Six Flags Great Adventure this year, which is weird because this is our home Six Flags park, but we already have done Six Flags America, and we actually have done Six Flags New England this year. So we're going to run right through this Thrill Seeker section real quick here, Junior's Thrill Seekers, because this pretty much back where Jersey Devil was, the only thing back there was an older kids section, which they took out and they kind of rethemed it. Now, if you're familiar with Roadrunner Express, so you actually have a tree hopper here, and here you got a nice little balloon ride, but they actually rethemed the kids coaster, which was Roadrunner Express, I believe, and now it is Little Devil Coaster. So they repainted it. It's the same coaster. Not going to consider it a new credit, but let's check out the trains and stuff like that. So this is Little Devil under the umbrella of Batman the Ride. So now we're going to head over to the Justice League area. So if you're checking out where we are here, the one thing about this park is you're going to do a lot of backtracking because there's a lot of dead ends. This is a very linear park. It's very wide, but not very deep. So For reference, right there's the Fat Burger, right there's the Primo Pizzeria. And now we're going to head, right there's the arcade that we saw a few minutes ago. Now, instead of making the left to the Jersey Devil Coaster, we're going to make the right into the Movie Town section there, which is pretty much the DC section. Now, one thing you're going to notice about this park is they have a lot of arcades and a lot of games. And, you know, that's a lot of fun. A lot of cool stuff, but... Alright, so here we are over in the Movie Town section. And right in front of us, right, that big building right there is actually the Dark Knight, which is a indoor mouse. Pretty well themed, but it is an indoor mouse. And of course there's restrooms here and the Gotham City gift shop. So if you need to get your capes and Harley Quinn stuff, that's where you want to go. So right here is Batman the Ride, which is a clone of, you know, there's a lot of these at most of the Six Flags parks. And also, they also have a Batmobile, which is also very much themed in the area. So we're heading over here. So we're right by, you know, there's Nitro right next to Batman the Ride. So if you come over here, there's actually a nice little food area here. Over to right there, that is how you get to the Dark Knight. But here you actually got a whole little bar section that's fairly new. Cascade quesadillas. And then you actually have a bar there with nachos, quesadillas, and you have a grill. So this has all been rethemed, which is good. It's great to see that they're putting some money into it. Now as you head back this way with the Dark Knight right there on your right in front of us is Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth, which happens to be one of the biggest one of these rides. They use the names a lot. And over there's, that used to be from, that's the thing there, from what I remember, that building right there is actually where Batman and Robin, the Chiller, used to go through. But over here is the new Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth. It is a huge pendulum ride. So we already saw the one over at Six Flags America. This one is probably 50 to 75 feet taller. And that's going to take us over here. Now I love the fact that this dome building's here. That was part of Batman, Robin, the Chiller years ago. So this bridge takes you into the Gotham City section, you know, the Metro Narrows Bridge. So they really are playing off the whole Gotham City. But right there is Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth. All right, so now we're going to come through here. Now this is a fairly new section, but I do love the fact that they actually use, from Batman and Robin the Chiller, they actually use the dome for a gift shop. But right here you got Metro Grill, which is a fantastic area. I've eaten here before there. It's a typical fare, chicken strips and stuff. I mean, come over here, you actually have the showcase, which is actually where they have theater. So it is actually shows at the Six Flags event here. But over here, the big thing that's over in this area with the Skyfly in the background is actually the Justice League ride. There's a lot of these over at the Six Flags parks. And this one is, like I said, they're all pretty much the same. But this one, you know, I've done this one before and it's actually really good. Everything is working, which is always important because sometimes you get these rides and half the stuff's not working. In regards to this Justice League ride, everything, Battle of Metropolis, everything's working. And right here's one of their main theaters, the Showcase Theater. So if you're into shows, you can actually come right back here. Now the last thing in this area, right in front of us here is Cyborg Cyber Spin. And this is actually a really interesting flat ride. And of course we're going to do a short on this one someday. But this is a really neat flat ride because you kind of go up there and you have different axes and you really spin. So if you get motion sickness like me, make sure you get either a relief band or you basically get a lot of Dramamine because this one will definitely get you motion sick. So we're going to turn around real quick here. So this is the Gotham City section of Six Flags Great Adventure. If you're familiar with how we do things, we're eventually going to do a shorter video that's focusing just on this section. But this is the full park walkthrough. So now we're going to take this path here, which as I mentioned before when we were going down the original spot by the Movie Town entrance, this was the shortcut I pointed out there over by the basketball hoops. So they kind of opened this up when they basically expanded this section. So at one point, you really needed to know this, kind of like the Sky Rush secret path, but now it's pretty obvious that there's a path here, and most people go by. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut across by the Ferris wheel, and then we're going to pretty much do the back end of the park by the Joker. So now to give you a perspective, right there is the entrance to the park. So we kind of, when you go into the park, you go in, and then this section kicks back. But we're almost through this path, and it's going to take us back to the main midway, I guess would be the best way to explain it. And here we are. So pretty much if you see right in front of you, there's the basketball net, the basketball game I talked about before, and we also have the candy apples. So we're going to walk in front of the Ferris wheel, and then we're going to do the back area of the park, and then we're going to head out towards Medusa. But if you're interested in videos like this, definitely make sure that you subscribe and like the video, because you know, we actually post videos every day. Every day there is a new video, usually a different park than the day before. We like to spread these out. All right, so we're back on the main midway, and now we're going to head out towards the back end of the park over by Skull Mountain. So, point of reference right there is the Mama Flora's. And there's the Sky Bar. I have noticed this year there is a lot more bars than there used to be in the past. So that's kind of neat that they've expanded that aspect. All right, so if you look above you, right there you actually see the wires. They actually have a skyride attraction that takes you to the other side of the park. So this one starts off here. So right over here is the bumper cars that we mentioned before, and right there's Granny's Chicken. So that gives you perspective. So now we're over here by the back end of the park, but we want to show you Skull Mountain, because Skull Mountain is pretty iconic for this area. It's one of the original rides here. This section was pretty much pirate themed, and then it kind of crossed over to more DC. But we want to show you Skull Mountain, because that's definitely a great spot there. Now, it looks like they took out a ride here. I'm not familiar what was here before, right next to the Jolly Rogers. So if you know what that is, please definitely leave it in the comments. But here is Skull Mountain and Chopsticks. So if you're looking for different types of food, if you're tired of burgers, if you're tired of pizza and stuff like that, you can actually go to Chopsticks. Our vegan friend, Coaster Jeff, goes there all the time. So there's Skull Mountain right around there. And this is the Jolly Roger. So now we're going across the back end of the park. So yet again, for perspective, right there's the Ferris wheel, and we're heading out this way. Yet again, if you know what was here, I think it used to be remote control boats. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was where you could actually use remote control boats, because it looks like it was water features there. All right, so here is a fun ride that a lot of amusement parks have now. I call it fun with centrifugal force. And that seems to be pretty popular. And right over here is the Buccaneer, which is your standard pirate ship that they have here. So the pirate ship is right here. Right in front of us is Joker's. But this one's called the Swashbuckler. So here is Buccaneer, which is their pirate ship. Now where we're going to right now is we pretty much just knocked out the entire right side of the park when you come in. Right over here is the entrance. But right here is two DC themed rides. The one going right now is the Joker, which is a S&S 4D. And right here, the darker color coaster track that you see right here, that's Harley Quinn Crazy Train. But there goes Joker. Most Six Flags parks have Jokers now, the 4Ds, and most of them are actually themed after Joker. But right over here is the entrance to Harley Quinn Crazy Train. So it's always nice that you put the Joker right next to Harley Quinn, because in life, they really are together. So, true love is the Joker and Harley Quinn. Now, this is literally the main drag here. This is the main entrance area. So, if you look out this way, you actually see the Flash Pass, where you can get your Flash Pass information. You actually have a Villains Cafe, which, you know, basically has a lot of small things. But right there in front of you is actually the fountain. Main fountain. And there's the Joker. So now we're going to backtrack here. There is the Villains Cafe. Flash Pass. So literally, if you come out the entrance and walk straight, you're going to go right into the Joker section. But the one thing that really opened up around here is you have Liberty Snacks, but you also now have Ale House, craft beer and wine. So this whole section right by the Johnny Rockets has now become a full-fledged bar. So if you're looking for that alcoholic beverage right next to the Primo Pizza, that's where you want to go. But as you walk this way, right there's the Johnny Rockets. And right across from the Johnny Rockets, in the main entrance that we showed you before we first walked in, this is where we are now. So that's where we went before, to the right. Now we're going to go to the left. And the first thing you're going to see here is the Central Brew House. And also funnel cakes. Right there is the Coaster Candy Store, mostly themed to M&M. So here we are in the main drag. So you got the Funnel Cake Factory, right across from Mid-Street Snacks, where I like to go all the time because you can actually grab something for the road. We tend to get the popcorn. But here is the Sugar Shack. Now, one thing about the Sugar Shack is you can also get Dole Whip there. So if you're looking for Dole Whip, you don't have to go to Disney. You can actually go right there. Now here, this building right here, is Houdini's Great Escape, which is one of the best flat rides we've ever been on.
Yo, we going on.
It's a high school day, but highly recommend this. So it kind of hidden there. It's right off the main entrance, but we highly recommend hitting that when you visit Great Adventure. All right. So of course you got face painting and stuff like that. Now, first thing you're going to see when you come here is literally the giant carousel. Now, unlike a lot of other Six Flags parks, which is right next to the Yum Yum Cafe, which I don't know how the food is there, but it's really pretty. But here, it's a menagerie because you actually have a chicken. If you look right there, there is a chicken. And as you go around, there's a lot of chickens on this. It looks like there's a whole row of chickens. Which, if you're familiar with most carousels, chickens are usually not what you get. But here, the whole middle row is chickens. And then right here is an iconic building, which is Yum Yum Cafe. And next to the Yum Yum Cafe is actually Teacups. All right. Now, as you come through, we're going to be doing a split off soon. And I think I'm going to show you this section first. So, kind of changing things up. But right here, you actually have one of the up-price things, Daredevil Dive, themed to Taz. So it's a giant swing kind of thing. But here, literally, you are now walking through a boardwalk type section. So, and they actually call it the Boardwalk. This is brand new painting, Six Flags Boardwalk. And here you got every game you can want. Now, in the old days when you used to just be able to give them money, those days are done because, like every other park nowadays, this is actually cashless. So now you actually have to get a game card and put money on the game card, and then they'll scan you there. Which probably works out better for them accounting-wise and kind of locks your money, which is kind of what they want to do anyway. But as soon as you come in here and you get past the games, you come to Boardwalk Steak and Fries. So it is nice that they actually themed this area a lot better. Now, if you need a cape, this is where you want to go to get capes. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're going to show you this section here. Like I said, they themed it to the Boardwalk, which is actually appropriate. You do have the Garden State Grill in the back there and the Ritas, which are two fantastic things. Now, I am a fan of beer, but I'm also a fan of pork roll, and this is where you can get pork roll. So we're going to walk through here, but this is all Midway games. So if your kids like to spend money, keep them away from this section because they have every type of boardwalk game around here. And I am happy that they actually rethemed this because I'm not going to lie, this was looking kind of shabby for years. So I'm glad they did that. Now in front of us is another swing ride. This one's not quite a swing ride, it's more of a parachute ride. You go up high and then they quote unquote drop you down. Look at all these themes. So here you got a couple. Here, I don't know if this thing actually has a name. I always call it the Twix ride, but it's a typical kind of crypt type ride. But you have left side Twix and right side Twix right next to the big parachute. But here you got Slingshot. So yet again, back there, you actually had Daredevil Dive. Here's the other upcharge that they have, which is the Slingshot. Yeah, I'm looking for a name over here on the Twix ride. I actually don't see a name on the Twix ride, so I guess they're just going to call it the Twix ride. But it looks like it is down. Now back here, so that's Slingshot. But back there, they actually have the Great Road Race America. So they have go-karts here. So pretty much this whole area here is upcharges. But it looks like it has a great course. Of course, you have a three-point shoot there. You got the Parachute Training Center, which is what they're calling this tower here. So, and as we'll come back here, you basically have two major rides back in this area. And that is right in front of us. You have Superman Ultimate Flight, which is a B&M flying coaster. It is a clone of the one that they have at Six Flags Over Georgia. And I enjoyed the one in Georgia a little bit better because it is more terrain-based. Also here, you actually have a climbing wall. I know one time Devin attempted that. And then right over here, years ago it used to be called Chang over at Kentucky Kingdom. It is one of the biggest stand-up coasters, but now it's called Green Lantern.
Not bad.
And here comes Green Lantern. That's going to be going through. Going through the loops right now. There you go. And then right in front of you, you got a Cluckies, it looks like. So this is yet again another dead end, because the one thing about Six Flags Great Adventure is it's more like a spoke where different sections jet out from a center area. But yet again, if you're into the upcharges, you've got the climbing wall, you got go-karts, you got the Slingshot, and you actually have the Daredevil Dive, which is more of a swing. So all those upcharges are like right in this area. So now we're going to head over to the section where there's actually some animals here. So pretty much, this is not really a hidden path, but it's kind of a hidden path. So when you go over by the Twix, which is right in front of us, you want to come over there. You see the people walking through right now. That's how you get to Kingda Ka, and that's how you get to El Toro. So we're going to show you those sections quick. But yet again, this is the Boardwalk, repainted, and it's looking fantastic. Not going to lie, I'm very impressed with the paint job that they did here. And like I said, they got this whole area here is all food. You got boneless wings, you've got the pork roll, you got all that stuff. All right, so here we are going into the Golden Kingdom, they call it, which is basically where Kingda Ka is. But the neat thing about this area is there's actually some animals. Now, if you're familiar with Six Flags, they actually have an entire safari that you can drive into. So if you're looking for animals, the safari is the better way to go, but there are a few animals over here. And over here is the giant tortoises. So we show you those guys real quick. So there's the giant tortoises. And then they have a wild walkway. So this basically takes you to the entrance of a show. So they do have a wildlife show. All right, we're gonna go through.
What else am I supposed to do? No,
so we're gonna walk over this way because it definitely has some high school kids here today. But when you come into this area here, you actually have Kingdom Traders, which has toys and all that kind of stuff. Now we're gonna head over here. So this is a crossroad. So we're gonna head over this way quick to get to Kingda Ka and Zumanjaro, which is pretty much the only things in this area. In the foreground, you can actually see Kingda Ka right there. It is the tallest. It's no longer the fastest, but it is the tallest. There it is going up to the top. So it is the tallest roller coaster right now in the world. It's an accelerator from Intamin, which is kind of pretty much what Top Thrill Dragster is, but this one's still operating, even though Top Thrill Dragster I considered a better ride, mainly because the restraints were a lot less restrictive. So as you head over here, pretty much the only thing out here is Kingda Ka and Zumanjaro. Now, what is Zumanjaro? Well, that is, if you look over here, hold on. If you look inside, they actually put one of the tallest drop towers in the world inside Kingda Ka, which is kind of a neat little addition there. When we come here to the Golden Kingdom, the two rides out here are, of course, Kingda Ka and Zumanjaro, but right there in the background you actually see a much better ride, which is called El Toro. And of course you got East Coasters, which is another gift shop, so you can buy all your stuff here. Yet again, not a huge fan of Kingda Ka, but it is a good credit to get. And right here you actually get a good view of a much better ride, which is El Toro, which is probably one of the best wooden coasters. Personally, my favorite wooden coaster is El Toro. And that's where we're going to head to next. But they got a whole coaster shirts. They got a new one right there with Nitro, and we're going to show you some of the stores later on today. So now we're going to walk back to where we came from. Yet again, the thing about Great Adventure is it's all dead ends. So every section you go to kind of dies out. These are all people. The only reason to come down this path is if you're going on Kingda Ka or Zumanjaro. Now for me, Kingda Ka is a good ride. Don't get me wrong, but it's not worth the wait. So unless you have a fast pass or you go on a day that's completely dead. Oh, right there's a good shot of Green Lantern. But unless it's a dead day or you have a fast pass, I don't think it's worth waiting in line for an hour for an 8-second ride. So, but definitely make sure you experience it because it is a very unique ride. And with the situation that you're dealing with in regards to Top Thrill Dragster, it may not be with us much longer. It might be the last one. There is one over in Ferrari over in Spain, but that one's a kind of a mini one. So there's only two 400-foot coasters. And like I said, we don't know what's going on with Top Thrill Dragster. All right, so over here is the thing called Wild Walkway. But we're gonna cut back through because yet again, this park is full of dead ends, which is not great. I'm not a big fan of the full layout of this park, but it is what it is. So now we're gonna head back out and we're gonna head out towards what used to be called Bizarro. It's now called Medusa, which was the original name. So they actually went back to their original name, which is kind of confusing, but you know, Six Flags, they own the properties, they can do what they want to do. So to give you a point of reference, we are now coming back out to the Boardwalk section. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut across over by where the capes were. If you're still watching, we greatly appreciate it, because we do like doing one take videos, and when you have a park as large as Great Adventure, it takes some time to go through this entire park. All right, so we're back at the Boardwalk section. We're heading over here where the pork roll was. So if you do like our content, make sure you like and subscribe, because every day we drop new videos. All right, now over here you see the Ritas. Now over by that area there is how you actually get the first aid. So while your kid's in first aid, you can go over and you can grab yourself a gourmet burger or a pork roll. But here we go over here. All right, so there's the basketball thing, and right there's the cheesesteaks. So what we're doing now is we're shooting out this direction by the Ritas. And right here, this way you can go get your game tickets so you can play all the games, because yet again, Six Flags Great Adventure is no longer accepting cash. All right, so these tents here are pretty much different stores. Actually, you got the game center there. Boardwalk Game Center is actually another arcade, but these are stores here. You got Attitude. Here you got Six Flags store. All right, so we're gonna walk through here quick. So now we are entering the Golden Kingdom again. This is more the gift shop area here that you can go to. But here you got attitudes, so you get your Squishmallows. You got a restroom here and another guest services. And then right here you have the Wicked Saloon, which yet again, food and alcohol. And over on this side you got another Primo's Pizzeria with a boneless wings. All right, so as we head out this way, you're gonna come to yet another fork in the road. So there's Kingda Ka in the background to give you perspective there. We're gonna head to the right. Now the right basically takes you out to the original area. And if you've been paying attention to the wires above, it's the other end of where you can drop for the sky ride. All right, so this is Frontier Adventure. Now eventually we're gonna go back that way, go by El Toro as we go back to the front, but yet again, another Dippin' Dots. So this is a more quiet spot of the park. As you can tell, not as many people here. It's an older area, but the one thing I definitely like about this is you've got Bugs Bunny National Park there, which is the kids section. So we're gonna walk in there in a second, but real quick here, you got probably one of the more picturesque places where you actually have a great view of El Toro and the mine ride. Now the mine ride is rough, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's El Toro going up the hill, which is pretty much my favorite wooden coaster. But what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna walk through Bugs Bunny National Park. So this is the second kid section. Now this is a larger kid section than what we just encountered over at over by Jersey Devil. So, and this one of course is Looney Tunes themed. We're gonna have a separate video on this, walking through it, but I wanna give you a quick little perspective here. You got a little carousel there, you got a wagon wheel, you got a water thing here, and you got hot air balloons. And it's right next to one of the better log flumes I've ever been on, which has a giant windmill. And here goes El Toro. Gonna be doing a turnaround here. There you go. There goes El Toro. Now last year it actually derailed and it was out for a while, but it's glad to have the best wooden coaster around back. Over here is the log flume entrance. And this is neat because this log flume actually goes over the big pond that is pretty much makes up the one end of the park. So you actually go off into an island, which is kind of a neat little aspect. So here you go. If you need a picture of El Toro, this is where you can go to get a great picture shot of El Toro. And of course here you got the wagon wheel with the log flume. There goes the logs. So this log flume's going 100%. So that's nice. You got a drink stand. But look at this, a sawmill log flume. It's great when you see these old classic log flumes still going and being maintained fantastically. Now here, you have that bridge right there. You actually have a barbecue place with burgers and a saloon. So cold beer, you can get pork barbecue, the whole 9 yards. Now over here is where you get into the runaway mine train, but you can also get into the sky ride. Now, there goes the log flume. So there's the log flume. Now here, when the safari started, it used to be drive-through. Then they basically opened up this section here where they actually would put you in these giant safari vehicles that would take you through the safari. And then when COVID hit, they reopened up for drive-through. So now this path takes you to the safari VIP tours. So this is if you want to have like a private tour aspect. It's an upcharge, of course. That's where you would go. But now you can basically just drive into the good old safari. I do highly recommend not putting any food on your car because the monkeys will go after it and it will destroy it. So this is the whole safari stand there. They have these old safari trucks, so they're pretty much retired unless people are going to pay extra for it. Now here, it's kind of a quiet part of the park because here was an old show area, which, as you can tell, they're not using it anymore, which is what happens a lot of times. Show areas are kind of disappearing because they take a lot of space. There is the runaway mine train, but here you go. So what's down here? So for years, there used to be Bizarro. Now, It is called Medusa. It is the original name. Now this is the original floorless coaster that B&M did years ago. So it's neat the fact that they actually repainted it and rethemed it back to Medusa. Now why they did that, I have no idea. But there you go. Now here with Bizarro, they had a huge sign right here that would basically, you know, captivate the whole area. All right, here you go. Perfect timing. So that's Medusa, and that is actually the only thing here, because the only thing back in this area is actually the safari. So we're going to take a little cut across path here, but let me zoom in real quick. There is the new logo. It looks fantastic. And now we're going to go this way. Now this path is going to take us to the last section of the park that we have to see. There is the mine train going up the hill. So we hit every section of the park except for one, and that is, how do you get to El Toro? Well, from Medusa, you actually have this little path here, which, as you tell, seldom used path. There is El Toro going by. Get great views of El Toro, but you also get great views of this creek. It actually is right in the middle of the park. You don't even realize it because it kind of, I don't even know if this is a creek or this is part of the extension of the pond. But it actually is a nice little quiet area here. Actually very picturesque. It's almost at the same level of Busch Gardens with how quiet it is back here and how beautiful it is back here. But you get a great view of El Toro. That's the lift hill. And we're going to show you how to get to El Toro. And then we're going to walk back to the main section of the park. Once again, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching this. This is probably our longest video ever so far, mainly because it is a huge park. It is basically, there's three main Six Flags parks. There's Magic Mountain, which is, you know, the big boy over in California. You got Great America over in the Chicago area. And then of course here you've got Great Adventure right outside New York in northern Jersey. So right over here is the whole creek. Right there is the runaway mine train, which yet again, it's a very rough ride, but I can see why they keep it, because it is very picturesque and it kind of ties everything together in regards to the Western theme that they have over there. But that's actually a pretty nice shot there. You actually have the log flume in the background too. Now we're going to hook over here. And this is how you get to El Toro. And you can tell people are flocking to El Toro. Now El Toro, you got to make sure you empty your pockets because things will fly out. And there we are at El Toro. So how do you get here? So, I mean, you don't have to go all the way buy things to get there. So let me show you how you get here. You head out this way. And this is kind of, at one point they actually had El Diablo here. They actually, a long time ago, they actually had a lot of other rides here too. But, you know, you got a food, totally kicking wings. You got Fiesta games, so of course you got more. And you got Macho Nacho, which is the standard Six Flags location for their, Mexican, Hispanic themes. So this makes sense with El Toro. You actually have a flat ride here called Tango, which I'm not going to lie, I've never really seen it go. There's an operator in there, so I guess they wanted to go sometime, but yeah, it's kind of a very small back and forth type of ride. So El Toro is massive, but of course there's always a Dippin' Dots. All right, so let's show you where you pop out at, and we're going to walk back to the main entrance. But thank you so much for watching this full park walkthrough, because this is going to be a long one, and we told you it was going to be a long one, but we have a walkway shop there. So basically where we're popping out at is actually another Dippin' Dots, if you can believe it. But where this is in relation to the park is right by Bugs Bunny National Park and right by the log flume. So when you go into the Pioneer Frontier section, you're actually going to, before you go this way, that's the way that takes you to the Sawmill, and that, if you make a left, that takes you to El Toro. So we want to thank you for checking out this full park walkthrough. You know, Great Adventure is a fantastic Six Flags park. It is our home Six Flags park, and we really love this park, especially during their special events. If you want a Halloween event, this is great. And if you want to go to any of these, you know, Christmas, holiday in the parks, this park is fantastic for it. So this is Paul, 125 Roller Coaster Challenge. Right here's the how to get Bugs Bunny. And remember to subscribe and like our videos, and have yourself a fantastic day.